Okay, today is August 29, 2024, the last Thursday in August. I remembered for once, so I've got my notes ready for my August in review, looking ahead to September. I just want to say I actually slept tonight, because last Thursday was when I woke up at like 4:30, I was tired. I was like, this was not a good feeling to wake up to. Today I woke up and I felt fine. A little tired, but I woke up at a reasonable hour. I slept kind of well. But getting into August in review, I actually wrote down my notes. I think for like Thursday videos, I'm definitely gonna do that. If I do NFL videos, because there's a part of me that really wants to, and the other part of me that's like, that is like 2 videos a week. It becomes a lot pretty quickly. I don't know how much I really want to. I feel like what I would probably rather do is just let me vent about the Saints. Let me vent about the Saints every week, how we look. But even then, I don't have like a league pass or anything. It's kind of expensive. I'd love to though, so I can't actually watch the Saints every week. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Maybe just like every quarter or so, which again with 17 weeks, 17 games, 18 weeks is harder to do than just 16 games. We'll see. We'll figure it out. August in review. When it comes to games, I was playing some Tekken with the boys. It was really fun. Playing a little bit of Street Fighter with the boys. It was pretty fun. Akuma's really fucking fun. I am very bad. Like, I had this one session where I was like, okay, I'm learning Akuma, my inputs are kicking, my Hados, my Tatsus. I don't know what his back circle, like, punch is called, but it's really fucking cool. I was like, damn, I'm cooking. Like, my demons are coming out. Hell yeah. And then the next time I was like, man, my inputs are just not coming out as well today, and I am not doing good. But it is what it is. I still had a good time. The big game project has been Xenogears. I use the air quotes because I really haven't been playing it. And what I had realized was, like, I was so excited for it. Xenogears is one of those games I've been meaning to play for a very long time. And last year was like, I really want to play it this year. And as the year went on, I was like, I don't think I'm going to get to Xenogears. I'm not feeling the vibe anymore, but I'm playing it next year for sure. Like, no bullshit. I am so excited to play it, and I had played through Xenosaga instead, which had also been on my list for a long time, and I really liked 1, although I have my issues. I didn't play 2. I just watched the cutscenes, because very early on I realized this one is not going to be for me. And from everything I know about Xenosaga 2, gameplay-wise, I don't regret my decision. And I played 3, and while I think gameplay-wise, like, it's very good, very solid, very fun, I don't think Xenosaga 3 is quite as interesting as 1 is gameplay-wise. Overall, 3 is my favorite of that trilogy. So now, it's time for Xenogears. And I'm like, I don't think I like playing it. And I've noticed that even though it's on my list of things to do, and I'm like, alright, I could play some Xenogears, I don't. I'm like, alright, well, I played for a little bit today, I don't have to play it for a few days now, which is not a good sign. And something I've talked about a lot on this channel is like kind of my vibe check. If I haven't fucked with something in a couple days, how do I feel? Do I feel like, yeah, I don't really miss it, and if that's the case, I should drop it? If it's, I feel really bad that I haven't played it in a bit, or read it, or whatever, that's how I know this is something important and I need to stick with it. Xenogears is kind of both. Where I'm like, I really just don't want to, and I kind of don't miss it, but I really want to see the story and where it goes. Because, I guess to get into why I don't like playing it, number 1, I actually don't think combat is that fun. I think foot combat is decent. It feels like a less fun version of the first Xenosaga with the AP system. I'm just not super impressed with it. Gear combat I fucking hate. So in that way, it's consistent with Xenosaga because I never liked the mech combat. Navigation is terrible. And it's less, because I remember Clay had tried playing it a while ago, like a couple years, and he's like, dude, I never knew where the fuck to go, and it bothered me. And I was like, why don't you just play it with a guide? Which, granted, is not the most fun, and if a game is so obtuse that you have to play it with a guide, I can get saying, like, no, it's not worth it at that point. What I didn't understand is what he said, I don't know where the fuck to go, was I don't know literally which direction I'm going or where I'm facing. The game has no map. It has a compass. That doesn't help. I would like a map. You can freely turn the camera, which sounds like it would help, but honestly, like, the camera moves so quickly, and it's zoomed in just enough that it can get very disorienting. I'm like, alright, let me see what's over here. Oh, shit. Like, when I first got into Bart's ship, it took me so long to find out to find the door I was supposed to get to. I was walking in circles. There's no map to tell me where I'm supposed to go. I'm like, oh, okay, it's clearly supposed to be this spot. Nope. That looks like a door. That's not a door. That looks like a door. That's not a door. What the fuck? And that's kind of how the game has felt to me. So I made a decision. I am not going to play Xenogears anymore, because I just don't like playing it. I am going to watch the cutscenes, because I'm genuinely interested in the story, and I got to the scene yesterday of Sophia's portrait, and Faye going, hey, that looks a lot like Ellie, and the doctor going, that also looks a lot like your painting style. I'm like, huh. Knowing some of the thematic elements I know about Xenogears, this is really fucking interesting. Also, I know that portrait. I know that girl. That's Nephilim from Xenosaga. And playing through Xenosaga when I got to Abel, I'm like, I haven't even touched Gears, and I know that's Faye. What the fuck? Just the connections, man. Like, this, it got me so excited and invested. Like, I can't wait to see more of this game. So that's where I'm at. In terms of what my actual, like, game is gonna be, I'm not super sure. I might just hold off until I finish watching Xenogears. Black Myth Wukong is a game I really want to play. I really wanted to play it when it was first announced. I think in next week, when my next paycheck comes in, I'll probably get Wukong with that. So maybe in a couple weeks, or I guess it'll be a week and some change. Maybe I'll find something like shorter to play on my list. I don't know. I might just say fuck it and just go with Gears. But Xenogears is going to be in rotation. I think my next big game is going to be finally playing Wukong. In terms of reading projects, a new chapter of Valkyrie came out. The round isn't over yet, and I thought it was going to be. I'm not super crazy. I don't super care for Okita. I don't hate him. But I just kind of went into the round going, I really don't think there's any way he's going to lose for a variety of reasons. And the fact that he still hasn't makes not only like, okay, I still think I'm right. Like, this feels kind of bullshit. Especially with just how much I immediately love Susanoo. I'm like, man, this is like giving me Tesla vibes. I'm like, there's no way he's gonna win. He's a dead man walking with all the context going on. I'm like, but I love him. He's so cool. And I finished reading Worm. That was a big project. That was the big project of the year. And speaking of projects, I have started Project Horizons again. I am 6 chapters in. I haven't read it in about a week or so. And this isn't a break I intended to have. It was more of a, I've had a backlog of videos I've been meaning to record. One on Monogatari, one on My Adventures with Superman, one on Abigail. I recorded Monogatari last night. I recorded Superman before this, so I'll probably do Abigail later today or tomorrow morning. Because, like, I know if I do a Horizons chapter, I'm going to have to do a video on it, and it's going to be my priority. That's just the way it works, which means this backlog is going to keep getting longer and longer, and like pushed, like delayed, and I don't want to do that. Let me do these before I get back into Horizons. So with that being the case, of those 3 videos, 2 were done, and the other one will be done soon. I'll probably read Chapter 7 either today or tomorrow. And speaking of videos getting delayed and Worm and reading projects, I had said I want to do some Worm videos. I want to do a couple tier lists. I want to do kind of like a final thing. Like, again, final. You can always change your mind. But like, here are kind of my parting thoughts reading Worm. What I want to do, because I haven't done any of those things, after every arc, or I guess after every volume of Project Horizons, I'm going to take a break. Because I want to take my time with Horizons. If every chapter is an hour, that's 80 hours, and several chapters are like 2.5, or 3, or 3.5, it's, no pun intended using the word project, but it's a long fucking project. I think it would be best that I'm like, after every arc, I take a break and like I read something else or I do something else. I think during my break between Security Mare and Blood and Stars is when I'm going to revisit Worm. Again, that does not mean I'm going to reread all of Worm, because that's, no. But I think when I'm during that break, it's okay. I'm going to rewatch, I guess not rewatch because I haven't watched them. I'm going to watch my Worm videos, kind of relive my experience. Like, what did I think of this arc then? How am I kind of leaning towards it now? Especially with more stuff that has happened in the stories, because I know there's parts. The second trigger event is something I was very much like, this is a cool idea. I think the character should have just died. I don't know. And since I've come around to that moment a lot more, I mean, given that he doesn't really get to do a lot in the second half of the story anyways, you can make an argument that's better if he died, but genuinely, I like the way it was handled, but I feel like there's also some things that I liked in the moment that I don't like as much anymore, etc., etc. I want to revisit it, then make my videos on it. Like, all right, now that I've revisited everything and it's a bit more fresh, like, it's fresh and I've had time to sit on it at the same time, let me rank the arcs, let me rank the cast, then let me do this video, and then we'll do Project Horizons 2. In terms of, like, show, like, just stuff I watched, because it's not just shows, it's movies as well. My Adventures with Superman Season 2, Atlanta Season 3, finishing the Showa era. We have resumed Adventure Time. We're about halfway through Season 6. I think we have about 100 episodes left total. The new season of Monogatari, at least the Nadeko Draws arc, I haven't started the Bon Appetit arc. I'm going to probably just wait till it's done. Rewatched Madoka Magica. I watched Abigail finally. And after watching Abigail, which I'll talk about a little bit when I do that video, I also said, I was like, you know, they keep using, like, the Swan Lake theme. I've never seen Swan Lake, and I've been wanting to for a long time. So I watched a performance of Swan Lake, and I loved it. I thought it was fan-fucking-tastic. In terms of writing, I got some orichalcum done, and then said I am at a good spot where I can take a break and go back into Severance. Severance has been cooking. I did some work on Chapter 1, and it went really smooth. Like, there were some things that, like, all right, I can clean this up a little bit. This is maybe some shit to mess with. But it was, like, super easy, barely an inconvenience. And then Chapter 2 is like, man, I find I've basically rewritten the entire chapter. It's, like, the same events, but almost every line has been rewritten. And I'm like, I'm glad, because I feel like I'm making it better and I'm making it stronger. And even I was like, this is a part of the story I've always felt was kind of weaker and almost dragged a bit, but I think I'm making it more interesting and I'm getting more invested with it, but I'm also like, this is taking forever. But it's going. I'm almost done with that chapter. I've got like one scene left. I'm hoping either today or tomorrow I can get it done. In terms of some other shit, my birthday was this month. That was really cool. It was nice to just take a break from the bar. I tried Tinder for a bit. Hasn't really gone anywhere, and we were playing Pathfinder again. We had a really fun session. His fries were cold, and we paid the price. Looking ahead to September, the big thing is halfway through, I get my bar results, which is something I've kind of barely thought about. Like, it hasn't been this, like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I'm not like, oh man, I passed, there's no way I failed kind of thing. Like, I feel good about it to the point where I haven't needed to worry. Oh, I guess another thing is that happened in August was me taking Adderall, and I genuinely feel like it's helped me a lot. It's been really nice. But looking ahead to September, like I said, the bar results, and I feel like being on Adderall has helped with that because I feel my anxiety has gone down a lot. And I'm not like fuck. I'm like, yeah, I feel like I did well, and if I will be disappointed and frustrated if I fail, but I know it's not the end of the world. I don't have to go like, oh no, worst case scenario. I'm like, this is different, and this is nice. Watching Xenogears, I'm hoping I will be able to play Black Myth Wukong. Finishing Adventure Time Season 6, starting the Heisei era. Hopefully finishing Atlanta, like going through Season 4. I still need to finish Season 3 of Chucky. Because here's the thing, I was enjoying Season 3, and that Halloween Phantom of the Opera Chandelier episode was so good, and then it was just off air for several months. And by the time it was back on, I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll get to it when I get to it. And I still haven't gotten to it. But I want to. Keep writing. I'm not going to finish Severance. Severance is a lot of shit to go over, but I want to get good progress done. I would say probably because of pacing, what I see as pacing issues, I've added a chapter, which is less of I'm writing a chapter from scratch and more of I'm kind of dividing some, like this chapter, this part's going here and being its own chapter, this part's going here, and this part of this chapter is going here. It's shit that to me makes a lot of sense, and I think I think it flows better. So I would say the first 4 chapters and the prologue, I'm probably going to look at the prologue again, I would like to get done in September. I mean, the first chapter is already done. The second chapter is already almost done. And then I'll probably just, now that it's been essentially completely rewritten, just give it a look. Be like, all right, is it good? Is it fine? Chapter 3, or excuse me, because the new chapter 2, and then chapter 3, which was the previous chapter 2, and then chapter 4. And chapter 4 is a pretty long one. And then going back to the prologue. It's a lot, but I feel like in September that's all doable. I don't know what I'll do after that. I might stick with Severance. I might say, that was a lot. Let me go back to Orichalcum for a bit. It's a kind of do. But there's that. What the hell does that say? Oh, that's PH. I thought that said PIT. Is like, what the hell is Pitt? I'm not talking about the Steelers. Oh no, that's an H. Yeah, like I was saying, Project Horizons. I want to finish Arc 1. I'm going at my own pace. I'm not going to try to finish this by the end of the year. There is not a, let me do an arc a month. It's let me just read a chapter every few days. And if I need to take a break to catch up on shit, or because Horizons is a lot, I can do that. It'll be steady throughout the year. Like I said, after I finish Arc 1, I want to kind of revisit Worm, and then start Arc 2 of Horizons. NFL starts in a couple weeks. And I was talking about that earlier. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do videos on it. Something I will say is a few days ago, I remembered the Raiders coin. This was, fuck, what year was it? I don't remember the season. I want to say, okay, I know it wasn't 2020. Okay, I think it was 2021. If that's right, it's when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. This is the year where there was a Raiders fan who flipped a coin for every game of the season to predict their season. The almighty coin had the Raiders going 10-7 and making the playoffs. And that's what happened. It got 2 games wrong, but they kind of evened each other. I was like, oh, this is a game they were supposed to win, but they lost. And then here's a game they were supposed to lose, but they won. And it all worked out. I also am immensely disappointed the final game didn't end in a tie, just because of how close that would have been, how wild it would have been, and we almost we could have had a kneel game. And I know there's no way in hell that could have happened because teams are competitive and they want to be able to compete and win. And it's a division game and the winner goes on, the loser goes home. You want to knock your division rival out of the playoffs and it's on prime time. There's no way in hell you're going to have the final regular season game. All of America is watching and they're just kneeling. But come on, it would have been gold. Anyways, the almighty coin, while not 100% right, was basically right. So I said, I'm going to do this for the Saints. I'm going to flip a coin. Heads, they win the game. Tails, they lose the game. And for some questions I asked afterwards, heads is a yes, tails is a no. All right, let's see, game by game. Week 1 versus Carolina. That's a loss. Oh no. By the time it was done, the Saints finished 10-7. I am genuinely surprised they finished 10-7. There was a point where they were like 2-5 or like 3-5. It looked really bad during the first chunk of the season. And then there was a point about halfway through, I think it was around the Chargers game, where they just went on a huge win streak. By the end, it's like, all right, 10-7. Yes, all right, coin. Heads, yes. Tails, no. Is that enough to make the playoffs? No. Well, shit. Did Dennis Allen keep his job? No. All right. So I didn't write it down. Like, I took a screenshot on my phone. I put it on my Twitter. But I don't remember off the top of my head all of the games. I do remember losing to Carolina week 1 and then losing to Dallas, beating Philly. I remember we beat Green Bay, and I was like, damn, like, I'm actually a little surprised by that one. In division, split with Carolina, sweeping the Falcons, getting swept by Tampa. And again, about halfway through, the team got a lot better, at least they were winning a lot of games, and I'm wondering, it said that Dennis Allen got fired, in this hypothetical, because there's, you know, a very, very high non-zero chance that this is not how the season will actually play out, because I literally just flipped a coin. But I am wondering, in this hypothetical coin season, like, so did Dennis Allen get fired mid-season, and that's when the team got a lot better? Was it just, like, did Spencer Rattler take over at QB, and then they got a lot better and were able to win games? Like, there's this, like, juice and energy in the team? Is it just, even with all the losses, the team was close, and then finally they just clicked and figured it out? I have no idea. But I thought it was interesting. I'll be interested to see how close the coin gets. I'm like, we're not losing week 1 to Carolina, are we? Please? Also, I think last year against the Titans was the first time in a while we'd won a week 1 game. Like, it's, I hate to say it, it's really not out of the realm of possibility that we would lose week 1 to Carolina. But that's where that is. I'm excited for football. I'm excited for September. That's it. I hope you have a good Thursday and a good weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.